Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, there was a collaboration ride put together by two good-looking Johnsons. Now, one thing that did happen on this ride, which I was beginning to think, I didn't know if it would ever happen, is that 11 riders left and 11 riders made it home. There wasn't one broken bone, one scratch, one nick. I actually scratched the neck part because, we did come home with Nick Amos. All in one piece. What a relief. Now, just to put a bit of context to the ride, this come together out of, Ryan. We'd spoken about doing something, and anyway, Ryan just messaged and said, do you want to do this ride? I've got this file from this guy. Let's lock in this date, which we did. So worked out really well that the decision was made. Had a bit of a muck about with the route, added a start and an end. We added a couple of little bits that weren't in there. We thought, it looked all right. And all right it was. And upon reflection over a passion fruit tingle at the Wee Jasper Distillery, we'll touch on that a bit later. Now that's Wayne in the red Deadpool jacket there. Been having a real struggle with Wayne. He's had a 660 10RA and he's moved up to the T7 and I don't know. He keeps coming at me with, I could do this on the 660 and I could do this on the 660. 660 didn't do this, didn't do that. Now, I've organised, got some second-hand Tractive cartridges and we've got them put in Wayne's bike for this trip. So I did tell him that, if he wasn't impressed with that, and he said one more time that the 660 could do this and that, I was going to punch him in the private parts. Now, I am pleased to inform everyone, though, that Wayne is happy with the Tractive inserts and the rear valve reshock, to the point where I haven't really heard him talk about the 660 for the last bit, so I think maybe we've had a win there. This section here is just riding through from Jugiong, and we're sort of heading out. We're heading to the Brindabella Road, so we're just riding along the Murrumbidgee there. So we're on the Brindabella Road now, and the countryside's starting to change, get a bit steeper, some nice valleys and water crossings, so enjoy. These tracks are all in really good condition. Some of them are starting to get, like, there's some steep parts, and probably only for a bit of the loose granite that had been put on there. Other than that, they would have been perfect. somewhere around the power line trail off the Brindabella Road. Look, it was just awesome riding for the big bikes through here. It was pretty dusty, but other than that, it was spot on. And yeah, if it didn't put a smile on your face, I don't think anything would. Yeah, we're definitely on the power line trail now, 100%. Hence, you can see the power lines. So I might have been a bit off on that, but yeah, this was all awesome too, riding down through the power line trail. It was, yeah, nothing. There's nothing tricky about it, but yeah, just good fun, and had to keep your eye on things a bit. This part because Wayne and I really get moving through this section. Now you can start to see coming in, you can see Cotter Dam and Canberra out there in the distance. It was here that we may have lost a rider for a little while, but yeah, we continue on through here, through some forest trails, and yeah, we're sort of snaking our way through to the Monaro Highway to jump the Monaro Highway, or right across it, and then back up into Mikalogo and through the Tindri Reserve there. Now this is another crossing of the Murrumbidgee just in the back of Canberra, and I'm sure those two are just looking, you know, like me on the bike thinking, oh, he looks pretty darn good. Now, I was on this section of road up a bit further where I happened to come over the top of the hill, and then I see one particular red jacket wearing rider off the edge of the road out in the scrub coming back on the road. When I pulled up and asked, oh, what happened? Did you run off the road? He proceeds to tell me that apparently he was just looking at some camels that were off the edge of the road. But I call bullshit on that one. Now this is a section we added in. I think it's called Barjar Fire Trail. It was really good through here. It was awesome. There's some steep sections and a bit of rocky stuff here. Pulled up, Wayne's just going up this section. Doesn't look that steep, but it never sort of does do it justice on the camera, I guess. But yeah, it was a bit of shaly rock, and it was a bit loose, obviously. So no, but it was good. It was all the way through. It was good. It sort of turned into a semi-easy single-ish track in a couple of spots with a bit of light sand on some of the corners, and yeah, it had a bit of everything. So I'm glad that we chucked that section in. popped out of the fire trail now, and we're back into some open country, coming in the back of Nimity Bell. The country really changes through here when you Nimity Bell through to where we're headed, which is Dalgety. Take note of the still coming up with the windmills. I had a bit of a catastrophe here after this. Well, there it is. That's the last location that I knew my phone was when we got to Dalgety. You'll notice riding in, my phone is no longer on my quad lock. So yeah, that was a turn around and go back and see if we can find him. So I think coming through Nimity Bell there was a few excited riders because it was only saying it was 40 or 45 kilometres to Dalgety to where our accommodation was, and we'd clocked up nearly 500 k's by then. But little did they know that we still had to weave our way 90 k's in through some farmland and to get into Dalgety. But I think it was well worth it. There's some awesome bits of country to look at, and a couple of crossings, and it was pretty good riding. Close to Dalgety now, and the anticipation of having a beverage was there. This is the sinking feeling that I had. There it is. Just like you'd lost your best friend in the crowd. Where are they? Well, I was about to turn around and embark on a find my phone mission. I went back to where I took the last photo, and about maybe 5 k's after that spot, I found it laying on the side of the road face down. Sadly, it was no longer with me. It didn't work anymore, but at least I still got the SIM card out of it. I'll leave you with a couple of stills, a couple of beers on the veranda the boys were having while I was finding my phone.